It doesn't have to be an international case competition that you have to win. It shows about the effort that you have put in to do something different, and you succeeded. I couldn't have found a better fit or of a product for me other than e-GMAT in the industry, because I've had friends with other competitive coaching and players. e-GMAT really stood out in terms of pure product wise, whether it be questions or whether it be the data analytics or whether it be the courses or whether it be your methodology of teaching. Cementing. It's a process in e-GMAT where you learn first, then you, as a little the word goes, you cement that foundation of the knowledge of that learning. And I think that really is necessary.
Hi, Navneeth. Thank you so much for doing this video debrief session. Big congratulations for your 645 on your GMAT and cracking the INSEAD MIM. Right? It's a big achievement. How does it feel to be here?
It feels amazing, and rather than just about catching up with e-GMAT, because e-GMAT has been such a crucial part of my journey, I think it's I need to reciprocate this feeling of gratitude, and so it feels very nice to be here.
That's wonderful. That's really brilliant. I know it's been quite a journey, Navneeth. You were juggling GMAT prep with CAT prep and your college prep, right? Too many things happening with your life then, and it was more of a sprint for you to get to that 645 with the deadlines coming along. And not only that, you cracked the INSEAD MIM. And you have a call from there. You also got an interview call from ISB for the YLP program. Just recently gave the interview. Wish you all the very best for that. So I'm sure it's a very happy moment currently. So we'll talk about all this. We'll talk about your GMAT journey. We'll talk about how you cracked the INSEAD rounds, right? But before that, Navneeth, very quickly, could you introduce yourself to our viewers and role GMAT played in your professional trajectory?
Yes. So I'm Navneeth D. Menon. I come from a beautiful city called Kochi in Kerala, and I'm currently studying in Nalcha University. I'm pursuing BBA. It's a 3-year program. And this entire the journey started in this year, Jan, when I decided that I needed to start preparing for my master's or MBA or MIM. And I understood that I need to do simultaneously to CAT and GMAT to increase my chances in both abroad and in Indian perspective. So I started preparing for CAT around January, and then I realized I will take around 2 months break for GMAT, prepare for GMAT, and then give the exam before the August deadline for YLP, and following the MIM round 1 deadlines as well. So that was the ideal plan. But as people say that nothing ever goes according to plan, I did my summer internship at ITC, and that internship required a lot of time. So I was not able to focus on GMAT as much as I would have wished to. So again, the 2 months break did not pan out as well. So I had to come back to college in July, start preparing for GMAT. I think I started preparing properly. I used to do daily some questions so that I am still in the loop. But I think I started properly preparing around July 8th. I gave my exam on August 10th. But that 1 month felt like 2 months because of the time I used to put and e-GMAT questions I used to solve. And I think the one thing that always will resonate with me about e-GMAT is I couldn't have found a better fit or of a product for me other than e-GMAT in the industry, because I've had friends with other competitive coaching and players. I've known these systems, I've known their softwares and UI UXs, but I feel like after knowing all that, after seeing all that, e-GMAT really stood out in terms of pure product wise, whether it be questions or whether it be the data analytics or whether it be the courses or whether it be your methodology of teaching. So I think in that way, e-GMAT truly stood out, and I'm very glad that I found the right fit, because I only had 1 month and I couldn't have gone wrong. So I'm very glad that I made the right choice.
Yeah, so it was literally a sprint 645 in a month, right?
Exactly.
That's a very crazy timeline and a brilliant achievement. So now, Navneeth, coming to the second part of the journey, you got a 645 score, then you had all these deadlines, and you cracked the INSEAD MIM program, right? So tell us how did you go about doing that? What was the methodology? Then we will come to each portion and discuss how did you prepare for that.
I think INSEAD's application journey started when I was in first year of my college
Mm-hmm.
because I feel I always knew that I had to do little different, a little more to learn something extra. So I have done a lot of case competitions and competitions around the country in premier B school institutes. And I think that played a huge role in my applications because I learned everything I learned about my favorite domain, marketing, through these marketing case competitions. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing that for from my first year at college as well. And then I have done 2, 3 internships at Teach for India, where there's a wonderful experience talking to students, talking to entrepreneurs, and etc. Then I did a corporate internship at ITC, where I was literally in charge of the entire retail outlets of loyalty program in Kerala. So these application, when you look at it, it's not just about a good score, a great score. It has so many other facets to it. And I think I am very glad that I was building my applications from day one of my college or my school or whatever. So INSEAD really focuses, if you're looking at any college, not just INSEAD, they really want well-rounded candidates. They or it's not just about getting 755 plus and it's a seat guarantee. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
So because from my personal experience, when the results came, I had a few friends who also applied who got significantly higher score than me, but they did not make the cut.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that it's not just about the score, it's about the application overall. It's about who you are. And if you're honest about it, if you are candid about who you are, what you've done, I think that's the best thing, that's the best foot forward. And so the first stage of the application is to tell us about who you are, what all have you done till now. And I think these internships competitions all played a good role in what all I've done till now. And then about telling me about who I am, I was honest, I was candid. And I think that's the easiest way to guarantee anything, because if you know that you want this, you know you want to study at a particular college. So there's a good reason for why you would be a good fit. So I think if you're honest about who you are, I think that's the best foot forward in that regard. And then the essay questions were more about short-term, long-term goals, etc. Again, I feel the stark difference between applying in Indian B schools or masters abroad is they really want you to be sure of the structure of your life, how it's going to be. It doesn't matter if you think like, okay, I'm going to be XYZ at XYZ company. It's not about that. It's about I want to pursue marketing. Why I want to pursue marketing, the passion I have or the data I have, which supports the same. So the structure same applies here as well in application as well, whether all these answers should combine itself and make the reader understand, okay, this is Navneeth, he wants this, and this is corroborated by the following. So that one liner should be there for everybody who's preparing for abroad B school applications, a one liner about you where you can tie everything together. So I think that is the first stage of excuse me, of the first stage of INSEAD applications. And INSEAD, I think, is the only college which has an AI interview using Kira Talent. So it's basically 30-second video interview where you have to shoot yourself, record yourself, where they'll give you 5 random questions. It has nothing to do with B school. It has nothing to do, because one of my questions was, where would you like to go on a vacation and why? And it's just to see about how you think and the process of your thinking in the very short span of time. Then after that stage comes the alumni interview. Again, that is also not just an interview, it's more of a conversation, because the alumni is trying to see if INSEAD is a good fit for you. At the same time, if you're a good fit for INSEAD. So one good example that I received, again, one of my friends were preparing for INSEAD interviews, and the alumni ended up convincing the interviewee that another school is better. Because this is a conversation that you need to have to understand if both the student and the university is a good fit for each other. So it didn't feel like an interview. It was more about me. It was an hour-long, beautiful conversation I had with an alumni from INSEAD. He was currently based out of Dubai. So that was the 3 stages of application, and the results came almost 1 month back, and I'm very glad.
That's brilliant. So did you use anyone's help? Did you hire a consultant, or did you do all this on your own?
Again, I thought I obviously talked to a lot of students who had used consultants, but I believe I think it's a very personal opinion. I believe these things, when it comes to answering these questions, it's better to put your best foot forward when you're honest and your soul self. This again a very personal opinion, but I believe I couldn't have done any better to know me from coming from another person. while they might have given me some pointers on how to think or how to nudge me in that direction, I believe I honest and it worked out. So I'm a firm believer of you should be able to do these things because you're talking about you. Nobody knows who you are better than you, who you are. So, and if you don't know, then there is something thinking that you have to do before these applications as well.
So I think what is primarily important is the clarity of thought, why you want to do this and for what, and accordingly start building your profile, right? You need a lot of homework to really get there. But other than the fact that, you started working on your profile from your first year of college itself, from the day you got the score to the day, how long did this process take you to really write the applications, the essays, prepare for the interview and the final one to
I knew the questions about for a month, and I used to brainstorm whenever I used to get time. But I think the sole writing process 2 days. But I think the thinking process took more than that because I used to note down and jot down whatever my thoughts were about. I used to connect what I've done in my past to one of the INSEAD's qualities. For example, INSEAD values. INSEAD is a very stressful, academically rigorous college within the 16 months. So they prefer candidates who can survive in that environment, that academic rigor. So I talked about how diamonds are made under pressure and how I thrive under pressure. So things like that, it takes a lot of thought to understand about who you are and about what the college's values are and the university's values and to connect them together. So I think in that way, there was a lot of thinking involved and that probably went again simultaneously with my GMAT prep. While I used to get tired or ready to write my day off, I used to think about my applications and about my questions as well.
So literally 28 days of thinking and introspecting and 2 days of writing.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that helped you also gain a lot of clarity as to how to deal the questions that were in the interview, right? I'm sure nothing could have prepared for the KIDA interview wherein they're asking you about vacations. But that again, did you prepare for it at all?
Honestly, that is my first experience with Kira Talent and all. So I had no idea, there were sample videos, but I had no idea there were sample videos until after I completed it. So there was no preparation that that's definitely I could have done, but I didn't prepare anything because I also heard that the questions were very casual. So I thought I should not have any preconceived notions. I should just go and talk about how, if my friend is asking me where is my favorite vacation, how would I respond? I should just think like that.
Keep it casual.
Keep it casual, yeah.
Okay. And you said the one-to-one interview was also quite casual, right? Which was basically, it was like speaking to a peer, older peer, an alum. Okay, got it. So, Navneeth, tell me, it was a long journey, right? If you have to tell people who are applying for INSEAD some pointers, what would they be that should help make their application strong? What is it that they need to look on?
I think you should focus on these pointers that I believe are crucial. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I think since it worked in my application, I'm tending to believe that it might be something that they look for. So one of the qualities is being able to survive under pressure, that high rigorous, that high long hours, high rigorous thing. And I've talked to alumni also. Their days don't seem to end because of the work. And it's not about studies or work. It's just about that campus requires, or that life requires, a lot of networking, a lot of exploring yourself and exposing yourself to industries and talking to leaders in starting up initiatives. And so it's a very time heavy course, an effort heavy course, I would rather say. So you should be prepared for that. So if you're not somebody who wants to do that every day for 365 days for 1 year, then I don't think this course might be for you. So maybe thinking along those lines, aligning your whatever you have done. If you have done any, for example, if you have managed simultaneously college projects or fests along with some prep or an internship, that shows that you can do multiple things at the same time and you're pretty good at handling pressure. So finding these things about yourself, again, it's the best way is to write down everything about me, whatever you have done till now, put them into baskets about what the qualities in INSEAD are. And then one other quality that I would encourage people to look into is innovation. The INSEAD fosters innovation a lot. They want to be known for innovating and coming up with new ideas. So if you're a person who has started something new in your college, it can be so that's also one thing I understood, that it doesn't matter about the degree at which you do it in. It doesn't have to be an international case competition that you have to win. It shows about the effort that you have put in to do something different, and you succeeded, and you have a data point to show and reflect that as well. So even if you start a case study club in your college when nothing existed, but that resulted into like hundreds of students being able to participate in that case study, that impact, if you can show, then I think that's also one of the biggest plus points. And at every juncture of your application, your interview, everything, if you can show the impact, if there is any physical proof to corroborate that evidence, corroborate that quality with, I think that's one of the best ways to go with anything. If I am saying that I thrive under pressure and diamonds are made under pressure, those bold statements, I should be able to corroborate at the fact that I've prepared for one competitive exam along with managing college acads and an internship and everything. So there should be evidence to corroborate that. And it's not like they'll come with you asking for this physical certificates. It's about you knowing yourself that, again, I have done this already, so I can do it again.
Yeah. I think you can never express an idea till you've lived through it, right? That authenticity of what you are telling is super critical, right? So what I hear you tell is, just the ability to thrive under pressure, innovation, impact. These are the three cornerstones of your application that really helped you get. That's very nice to know. Now look at the GMAT. You just had a month, and as you said, a lot of times what we plan doesn't pan out in life. So what was your biggest challenge to a decent GMAT score, and how did you overcome that, and what role did, say, e-GMAT play in that journey?
I think the biggest challenge was to understand the GMAT exam as a whole, because Indian competitive exams or any exam I've faced till now is very different. The exam is not adaptive. The questions might look very easy, but you to solve it under, let's say 2 minutes or 1 minute, 30, 40 seconds it's very difficult. And if you waste too much time on one question, you're reducing your chances for the next one because you can't skip any question. So the first biggest challenge I faced was to understand this exam through and out. And when I did that, I feel like I was able to get more and feel more confident regarding this thing. And I think after that challenge, I encountered where I believe that my intuition was initially wrong, and I needed some structure to my thinking, because rather than assuming, okay, this could be the inference to that question, I needed some logic or structure to realize, okay, I've eliminated all the other options, so this has to be the answer. So I think e-GMAT firstly played a huge role in giving me that structure in the verbal section. And I think your CR and RC and MR sections, our courses are like top notch, because the pre-thinking exercises. So it's been almost like 5 months after this thing. And I still remember pre-thinking, and I've used that exercise for all my Indian competitive exams or CAT as well. And that has helped. So that's something that I've not forgotten, and I don't think I will forget, because it's a method. It's a method that to learn things, to understand a passage or any paragraph in general. So those kind of exercises, the methodology of how you verbal, I think that really helped me out. And I think it's coming from a very honest perspective, where I don't think I was good at understanding passages or the meaning of the passages. I knew I was an avid reader, a good speaker, but I never thought I was bad at inferring or understanding the passage. But I realized GMAT requires me to be that. Yes. So I loved that structure. I by hearted it. I could recite it in my night sleep as well. The pre-thinking exercise, and this method truly made me assure myself that if a question comes, I know what to do, and I know how to eliminate the options, and I know how to get to that correct answer. There was a logic to it, and I think that played a huge role. And similar for the other two sections as well. While once I focused on the strategy of e-GMAT's Scholarium, where there's infinite number of questions, a lot of questions. So I used to exhaust them, and the question types in the levels that you describe are also so curated for the student, where you know that the student is already surpassed this level. So there's no point in doing a certain level of question. You should focus on this. And that guidance in whether it's being the expert AI analytics or the data analytics that you generally have, that is very useful. And I think another aspect would be coming back to the learning phase, would be cementing. It's a process in e-GMAT where you learn first, then you, as the word goes, you cement that foundation of the knowledge of that learning. And I think that really is necessary and is something that I feel like Indian education in general should be following. Because after you learn everything, the first thing should not be just a test. of your abilities. It should be to understand the topics that you're weak in, the topics that you can rework on, and in a timed environment or a non-timed environment. So I think cementing as a process really helped me. And if after cementing, again, it's not just like you're going to give a test. There are still levels to e-GMAT, whether you can take in relaxed timing, whether there's more time per question, or standard timing where you're supposed to do just like the exam day. So the entire product is curated for the students. It's curated for learning. It's curated for ensuring that if a student starts an e-GMAT journey, at least by the end of it, regardless of the score, you would have become a master of learning all these sections and all these topics and all these systems. So I think in that regard, that's why I again said this is the very nice product in this industry. And I think that's I almost forgot the most important aspect that I used to do because it was 1 month mocks. The mocks are huge. It's a huge. It lets you know about what to do, because you might be the most proficient in all the sections, but in a timed 2-hour environment, if you're not able to convert that, then there is no point. So I think e-GMAT mocks, while I personally think it is very tough and very tougher than what the actual exam is, but I think that prepared me a lot, because even though I got a 645, I believe I was not going to get because of the e-GMAT scores, but I understood on the exam day that I was so prepared to handle these questions because I've done such a level up questions in the Sigma X mocks of e-GMAT. So I think those those 5 mocks that we have, and also each mock, the progression and the analytics of that analysis is as well so important, because you need to know if you're continuously improving or disimproving in some regards. And I think I still remember the line graph that we see after our mocks in e-GMAT. So these things have stuck to me, and I think these things have really helped me ensure that I get a good score.
Got it. What I essentially hear you saying is, especially when you have such a limited time, what you need is structure. Where first you focus on your foundation, followed by cementing, followed by mocks, right? And again, at the cementing stage, it is super critical to be able to look at your performance, look at where the fine tuning is going to come from, and what are the areas you need to fix even before you move to the mocks. And I think you just put it succinctly and beautifully, the way you use the product and how it helped you get here. Right now, coming to the test day, Navneeth, how prepared were you on the test day? Were there any? What was your test experience like?
So I'm a firm believer of how how important your mindset is during these exams or during any strenuous events in your life. So I believe that I made myself a lot confident and aware that this is my exam, I am going to ace it. And there was a lot of self-motivation. And I think that played a huge role, because in exams like these, at least for me, it's highly mindset based. Even if I used to get, I think in almost all the official mocks, I got 645 plus 675 and everything. So I knew the data was there. Objectively, I should be confident. And I think the most important thing I've seen other people or from other people's experiences of GMAT is that in those 2 hours, they are not able to match to that pressure. So I think that mindset really helped me. And I think if anybody is listening to this, it's coming from a very honest perspective that you should, at least before a week, start saying to yourself that you can do this, you can ace this. It doesn't matter what all the other tests you've taken or mistakes you've done. It's about those 2 hours, and you're going to ace that 2 hours. So I think mindset is something that should be a checklist that you should definitely look at, a good, positive, happy mindset, because then only the test day will go according to how you intend it to go. And the test experience as a GMAT experience was very nice. And when I'm putting it relative to all the competitive exams we have over here in India, I think the secluded environment, noise cancelling earphones, it's again very student centric. They foster students to be at their best. And I think that's a very nice, it was a very nice, pleasant experience for me.
Got it. That's brilliant, right? So I think biggest learnings: structure, confidence, mindset, right? That's what helped you get here. That's very nice to know, Navneeth. Thank you for taking this time out. You still have to rush back to your classes, right? But between 2 classes, you've taken this time to help our viewers out. That's really good. Wish you all the very best. I know that you have ISB lined up, you have IMs lined up, you have a big line of good B schools that have lined up. So wishing you all the very best for them too. And all the very best for the next steps. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.